So let's set up ShiftEdit. So first step, we're going to go to the Chrome Web Store, and we're going to get the extension. As you can see, I've already got it installed, so I'm just going to click on that. If you haven't got it installed, you can actually go to the Chrome Web Store and search for it in the bar. There it is. And you just click install here where it says rate it now. But once you get inside of ShiftEdit, you're going to be met with this very scary screen. But all this information is listed on this web page right here. So first you give it a name. You can call it whatever you want. We'll just stick with ONID because that's what it is. You're putting all this in your ONID space, so makes sense. We're going to select SFTP because we want to connect to our server through SSH file transfer protocol. The domain for this is going to be the shell server. So shell.onid.oregonstate.edu. Your username is just going to be your ONID username. Password's going to be the same one that you use to log into your email and view or get into Blackboard. So that's what that password is. Your dir, this is the confusing part. This is going to be users, and then you're going to have U1 for user group 1, and then you're going to have your first initial of your last name. So my last name's Hoff, so that letter is going to be H for me, and then you have your username again. And then inside of your ONID space, you're going to go to the public HTML folder. And everything in your public HTML folder is public and world readable. So when you go to people.onid.oregonstate.edu tilde your username, you're going to get to everything inside the public HTML folder. And I should put http / in front of that. So if I've spelled everything right, this is still going to say, hey, I found a problem. But this is okay. So it says that there's something wrong. There's actually nothing wrong. But if you spelled one of these things wrong, like I'm going to go ahead and just make a big spelling error there and test it again, you're going to get an error that looks something like this. It's saying that it can't connect to the server. So when you get that kind of message, you want to look through here and make sure that you've spelled all the parts right, and that you have all of your periods in the right space, and lowercase. It doesn't matter if it's uppercase, but it's best practice to keep everything lowercase here. So as you can see, that fixed that error. If you spelled your password wrong, you're going to get a bit of a different error message, and that error message is going to look like this when this pops up. It's going to say something about your credentials failing, so your login's incorrect. So when you get that, you want to check your username and you want to check your password to make sure that they're both correct. So I'm going to type in my password again. And knowing my luck, I probably did that wrong. But the other thing that might happen is say that you messed one of these up. Say we accidentally put a 2 there. We're going to test that and see the error message that pops up. So it says the directory does not exist. There's no U2 directory, so we can't go in there. So it says, hey, it can't connect. So when you do that, you want to make sure that you have all your parts there. Users, U1, the first letter of your last name, your username, or I guess H would be, H is not necessarily the first letter of your last name, it's the first letter of your username. So that could throw you off. And then public HTML. Public HTML is really important here. You don't want to just be dropping HTML files inside of your home directory. So this is good now, so I'm going to click Save. And we're going to wait for that to catch up there. So as you can see, even though it gave that one error message, this is still working perfectly fine. And as you can see, I have a whole bunch of stuff in there. Yours will probably be empty. But that's how you set up ShiftEdit. You should be good to go now. Should be able to create an HTML file in there just fine. And yep, it went just fine, so I'm going to save that. And that's about it for the actual setup. Another thing to keep in mind is you want to strategically place your windows so that you can get good placement. So I'm going to make this about half, and then I'm going to drag this tab over here. And there I'm going to go to HTTP, going to find my directory. So this is the same one that we typed in earlier, people.oregonstate.edu/hoftc. And you can see I already have a file in there. It is right there. I'll open that up just so you can see. But this is what I have there right now, and it works like that. So I'll wait for that to open up. If I wanted to make a change here, say I want to say you want to go instead of probably. Make the change over here, and then it's pretty efficient to just go over here. You want to see what you did and make sure it looks right. So I'm going to go over here, click refresh, and hopefully it's finished. It is not, it's still saving. So we'll give it a second. So that finished, you can see because the message is gone. Refresh. And it's loading. It's loading. It's very slow. Going to there we go. You want to go. So you can see the change in here we made works just fine in here. And you can see that this file goes with the index.html file. So if I actually typed index.html, we're going to see the same thing. Because when you just go to an empty directory, it defaults to an index.html or an index.php or an index.htm. So you kind of want this window set up where you can easily switch back and forth and just refresh the page you're on to see what changes you made here. So that's about all to setting up ShiftEdit.